Hi, welcome to the virtual orientation of the Outback 312BH Superlight by Keystone. We're going to start this tour on the outside of the trailer, and we're going to begin at the front. First, I'll make mention of this storage compartment. Nothing specific that is stored in here, but it is a handy little extra add-on that was added on this particular trailer. And right beside and below that, we'll make note of your stabilization jacks. Now it is important to realize that these are not meant to level your trailer. They are only meant to stabilize your trailer once it's fully level. They are located on the four corners of the trailer. We'll move over to your front storage compartment. It's a pass-through compartment. This is where you'll find your manual crank for your stabilization jack, some lighting, as well as your battery disconnect. What your battery disconnect will do will allow you to leave your battery connected for short periods of time and not have to worry about it being drained down by anything left on or anything currently using power inside the trailer. Continue around. We'll notice we have these nice loading lights, and the switching for these is actually down under here. You can see the switch over there. So at the tongue of the trailer, or the front of the trailer, the A-frame, we have your battery storage area, as well as your double 30 propane storage, complete with a crossover regulator. Now what this crossover regulator will do, you can see in its current position the handle is pointing to this 30-pound tank. So what that means is the regulator will drop from this bottle first. Once it drops below a predetermined amount of pressure, it's determined by the regulator and we can't adjust it. Once it drops below that predetermined amount of pressure in this tank, it will automatically cross over and draw from the other tank. What that means is on those cold nights, if you're camping, you don't have to get out and switch bottles to keep yourself warm. So on the front here, we have your electric tongue. It has the front loading light, which is handy, as well as the up and down. Also on the front, we have your safety breakaway switch. This one is located up and in, so bear with me. There's your safety breakaway switch. At this front end, there's a pin. If that pin is removed, it will cause the trailer brakes to engage. So, when you hook this loop end of your safety breakaway cable to the tow vehicle, and then if your tow vehicle becomes separated from your RV at any time, this will engage that pin I showed you, pulling it out, engaging your trailer brakes. If you ever find that you did your hitch up and you're ready to go, and when you go to pull away, the trailer brakes are engaged, sometimes I have seen it where during a hitch up this gets pulled or stepped on or whatever, jostled enough that it'll pull the pin partially out. So that would be the first place I'd look if you're having some braking issues with your trailer. We're going to continue to work our way around the outside. We'll come to the off-door side of your front pass-through compartment. And the next thing we'll come to is your potable water or your freshwater input. Now this freshwater input is where you would put your drinking water if you're going to be camping off-grid or where there isn't a water supply. And then you would use your water pump on the inside to draw from here. Right beside that, we have your city water connection. That is basically where you put the garden hose from either your house, if you've got your trailer hooked up at home, or from the campground. I'm going to keep moving along the outside of the trailer. Then the next thing we are going to come to is your 30 amp power supply. This is what you'd plug into your campground power. Or if you're at home, you could plug this into power at home. Now most of us don't have a 30 amp outlet on the outside of our house. So if for instances like that where you still want some power just to run a few of the appliances inside, like your fridge, to keep things cool, we do provide you with a conversion block that converts the 30 amp plug style to a 15 amp plug style. We'll drop down below here and we'll make note of the output for your black and gray water tanks. We'll make note that you have your valve handles here and here. The next thing we'll come to is the rear of the trailer. And back here you will note we have your main input for your satellite and cable TV. Gonna work our way along the back. We'll come to the provided barbecue. Lands on the bumper. Now this is adjustable. I'm not going to go into the total setup, but you can see that we have tabs here that are inserted in to the legs of the barbecue. You tighten down with the wing nut. You do that on all 4 legs and tighten it down with the wing nut, and that will secure the barbecue to the rack. As far as lighting, return to the light position and press the igniter. And obviously if the igniter stops working for any reason, you can always use your barbecue lighter. Now this is connected to the propane system of the trailer via quick connect hose. Connect one end of the quick connect hose here, and the other end connects here. That way you can utilize the onboard propane system to provide propane to your barbecue. Just be aware that you must open and close the valve when using. So next thing we want to talk about is your rear stabilization jacks. You'll note that we have this handle here and here. And what those do is these act as cross braces between the stabilization jacks to stop and try to minimize some of the side-by-side swaying. So what you do is these handles should be loose when you put the jacks down. You snug them up to the ground after the trailer's level. And once they're where they need to be, then you just simply tighten the handle down. And that's how you use those. As we continue along the outside of the trailer, we'll come to your outdoor kitchen. We'll see that we have a refrigerator, drawer, plug, and we have another outdoor barbecue. This is also a quick connect. The port for the propane, however, is in a different location, but it also has a valve handle that will need to be opened. You'll also notice that there is an output for your satellite for your TV. Continue along the outside of your trailer. Next thing we'll come to is your black tank flush. So at this point you would hook your garden hose basically up to here, and this would flush your black tank. Continue to move along the outside, and we'll come to the venting for your refrigerator. And you'll notice that this fridge vent, it does actually have lots of venting holes here, and it's important that these remain unobstructed for the proper operation of your refrigerator. Directly underneath that we have the exhaust for your furnace. It does say that it's hot right on here. However, I like to make special note of it when your furnace vent is underneath your awning, as there's a greater chance that you may come in contact with it. Also in this area we have a GFCI plug, as well as an output for cable, and a mounting bracket for a TV, so you can watch some TV out underneath your awning if that's what you wish to do. Now we'll come to the outdoor side access for your hot water tank. A couple things that we want to note here. One being your pressure relief valve. The pressure relief valve, it should always be opened when you're removing the drain plug. The reason for that is there's a lot of pressure in the tank, and if you do not relieve the pressure first, as soon as you undo this, it's going to come shooting out at you. Also inside the outside access for your hot water tank is your reset. So if you've tried to light it from the inside and it's not lighting, I would come in and press the reset, and then it should light. Before we head inside, just want to make mention of the 2 speakers underneath your awning. They can be used with the stereo inside the trailer. Let's go inside and take a look. First thing through the door, you'll see to your left, we have a bunch of switches. They're well labeled for your porch, floodlights, and ceiling lights, and your awning light right here. As we turn around back towards the door, we'll notice the RV's fire extinguisher. Always important to know where the safety equipment is. And as we move around the inside of the main area of the trailer, we'll come down and make note of your carbon monoxide propane detector. There's a button on the front that you can press to test it. I recommend testing it every 6 months, daylight savings time. And at the same time as you press the button and test this, you can also test the smoke detector, located right here. I would replace the batteries every 6 months in that, and at the same time, check your carbon monoxide propane detector. While we're standing in front of it, we might as well take a look at your stove here. So in order to light the range top, we turn every burner to the light position. Once in the light position, we then turn the sparker knob. The stove portion is similar, other than there is no spark down here, so you'll have to use your barbecue lighter or something as a source of ignition. But you can see right here, that is the pilot, so that's where you'll have to ignite the gas. In order to do that, you turn to the light position, and then you press and hold as you attempt to light with your barbecue. And while we're crouched down, we might as well take a look at the power center for the RV. This is where you'll find the breakers, much like you'll see in your house, and they function pretty much the same way. And you will also see the fuses like you might see in your vehicle. We'll move over next door here and take a look at the refrigerator. It's pretty straightforward. It operates either on gas or electric. The auto setting will select electric if it's available. If not, it'll go to gas automatically. If you have it on the gas setting and you're trying to light on gas and this light lights up right here, that would indicate that there's an issue with your gas or with the lighting of the fridge. Generally speaking, or a lot of times anyways, it can be as simple as you haven't opened the valves on the propane bottles on the front of the RV. If you have done that, but you just did it, sometimes it just takes a minute or two for it to build up enough pressure in the system to light the appliance. So what I would do in that instance is I would, if you try to light it, it doesn't light, give it a couple minutes, go do something else, and then just come back to it and it should light no problem. Continue in through the trailer, we'll move into the back bunk area. Make note of this nice night light. It can be handy if you have young kids back here. Have a ladder that pulls out, as well as some additional storage in behind. Lots of room back here in the bunk area. Now this bunk does fold up, so you can make better use of this sofa. And this also will fold forward into an additional bed. As we take a look, just like to make you aware of the emergency exits. It's pretty straightforward. Flip the handle, flip this handle, and you can escape to safety. So we walk back into the main portion of the trailer. I'd like to make a note of your handle for your antenna. Always make sure before you leave that your antenna is fully retracted. If not, it could make some low clearance areas a little dicey for you. Now as we look straight ahead here, we'll see the entertainment center of the RV. We have your stereo system. This stereo is equipped with DVD, Bluetooth connectivity, as well as an auxiliary port, SD card, and USB connectivity. What this also features is 3 zones. Zone A is in the bedroom, Zone B is in the main part of the trailer here, and Zone C is actually outside, the outside speakers that are out under your awning. As we come around the other side here, we'll take a look in the bedroom. We'll lift up the bed. to show the underbed storage. Nice large area. Bed is supported by props to make it a little easier to load any luggage in there or anything that you wish to store. I'd like to make note of the emergency exit for the bedroom portion of the RV. In order to utilize, you push down on the black tab, push over on the red handle, bring the handle out perpendicular to the window, and push it straight outside the trailer. After the handle is fully outside, you can pull this tab to remove the screen, and you may escape to safety. This neat little hidden area is where you'll find your water pump. And the bonus is that being surrounded by carpet, it definitely makes it nice and quiet. So this is your water pump. This is what you would use to draw water from your freshwater tank. And while we're looking around at some of the different equipment and appliances, we'll just make mention that behind this panel here, we have 2 red Robertson screws. If you remove those, right behind there we have the inside access of the back of your hot water heater. And what that will do is give you the ability to bypass the water tank with 2 valves on the back in order to winterize the RV. We'll take an opportunity to open up this panel and we'll see we have your information center here. We have switching for your water heater on gas and electric, for your water pump, as well as for retracting or extending your awning. And then we also have functionality for bringing your slides in and out. Also, your indication panel will let you know the levels of your battery, fresh, black, and gray water tanks. This thermostat is pretty straightforward. We have the option of cool, fan, off altogether, or heat. And while in those various positions, we can choose a high or a low option, with the fan either on auto or just on. And then we use this center slider to set the desired temperature. Of note in the bathroom is the switching for the light and the fan, but most importantly we have your GFCI for the entire unit. If you're noticing that you have some power issues at any of your receptacles, I would come here first and see if this is tripped. And you can tell that it's tripped by this button kind of sticks out a little bit. You can see that there. Now it's not tripped. Now it's reset, I guess. Now it's tripped. So it should look like this, and all your plugs should operate fine. If that still doesn't fix your electrical issue, you could join the load center and see if there's a breaker or fuse issue. Okay, now I think I've covered everything that I planned on talking about. More than likely I've missed something. If I did, I apologize, but we'd be happy to help you. Give us a call and we'll answer any question that we possibly can. Thank you.